And I welcome you to send in your questions. We already have a few coming in, and we can certainly hear more from Tammy about everything Hamilton has to offer and all the resources that Tammy and her team have to share with you, whether you're already in Ontario or Hamilton or soon coming to Hamilton or the country. Let's give Tammy a tough one, just for fun, to start off.
I'm up for it. I'm up for the challenge.
Okay. So, someone says, hello, my name is, I'm not going to say the person's name. Okay, let's pretend the person's name is John Smith. Hi, my name is John Smith, and I am an express entry candidate. I am currently based in Trinidad and Tobago. However, I recently attended Sheridan College in Brampton, Ontario, where I acquired an advanced diploma in architectural technology. I've also received a Bachelor of Social Science and Project Management in Trinidad and Tobago. What are the possibilities for me in these professions in the city of Hamilton? I'm eager to have job opportunities in Canada and in Hamilton where I can utilize my skills for the development of the city. So once again, he has a degree in project management and an advanced diploma in architectural technology from Sheridan. So I guess he's sort of urban planning or urban management project manager gentleman. That is the question. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, it's a great time to be looking at Hamilton right now. We're on the rise. We've had significant investment. We actually have some very large, I wouldn't say very large, but they're in and around our area that are large construction companies. But we also have several boutique architectural firms that are always looking for good people to actually contribute and help. Because if you remember from earlier, we have been hitting over $1 billion in building permits the last 7 out of 8 years. And it just shows that there is a significant amount of interest as well as a lot of investment that's happening here. So Mr. Smith, I know that's not your real name, but I encourage you to take a look at some of the different architectural firms that we have here. So I could name drop a few, but you're welcome to email me and I can also send you a list later on. But there's companies that are looking at the waterfront development is a big thing. We're looking at massive investments in and around that area, as well as the airport growth district. So because of these massive opportunities, we have developers that are starting to come into the city of Hamilton, which also means it translates into opportunities for good people to join those companies. So definitely think that there is great areas. But as well, in terms of living and working here in Hamilton, we are a lot more affordable than living in major markets like Toronto. In terms of housing, we are for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, we're looking at $400,000 to $500,000, which is half of what Toronto is today. It's a little more expensive than St. John's and Moncton, as we saw earlier, but your access to different jobs is easily within a 1-hour commute from Hamilton. So there is a lot more job opportunity for someone like you, Mr. Smith, who has that significant advanced degree in architecture and has that opportunity to be able to come and join us here in Hamilton.
Wow, wasn't able to stump Tammy there. So thank you, Tammy. The next question is the gentleman, his profile is similar to Mr. Smith in that he is, I would like to know if there are employers that are interested in, quote, project schedulers that are Primavera P6 experts. And I Googled that for Tammy. Primavera P6 is a project management software.
Okay.
So similar to Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith has his BSc in BSc project management, but also the degree in architectural technology. But the second part of this question, this person says, where is there a platform where I can try and connect with employers that would be looking for, the urban planners or the, P&Ps or project managers? Is there any sort of bridge or linking or resource that this person can engage?
So here in Hamilton, we're actually a partner to a software called Magnet. Magnet. And Magnet is actually run out of Ryerson University in Toronto. We're going to think of it as kind of like the dating software, but for jobs. So the employers will put a profile on specifically listing different attributes or skills that they're looking for. So if they are looking for a PMP, or they're looking for a Primaveras, or they're looking for any of these specific skills, they'll list them on their profile. A job seeker is conversely asked to create a job seeker profile, which you would also list these sort of things. So you would say, I'm a PMP professional, I have access to these types of softwares, I know how to make this type of stuff work. And then the system behind the scenes will actively match the employer to a potential employee, just like a like a dating software. So we work very closely with Magnet. So that's not just from the city of Hamilton, that's also with our private sector employers as well. So we're actively pushing and encouraging our employers to really create new profiles for their jobs. We know that people like you, John Smith too, is very high in demand because, again, this comes back to project management. People are going to be able to work across different industries and different sectors. We know that they're there to help with development and growth. So Hamilton is in its growth phase. So there are real opportunities now for those types of jobs to become available.
Great. Thank you, Tammy. Let's continue on changing pace a little bit, though. The next question revolves around entrepreneurship. The person states, I am interested in investing in a small restaurant business, and I would like to know the opportunities, process, perhaps funds or average cost. So I'll say that again. I'm interested in investing in a small restaurant business in Hamilton, and would like to know, the opportunities, or where can I find them, and what would be the process and average cost.
Sure.
How about that?
Yeah, that sounds great. If you'll see on the screen right now, I have my website on there, so www.investinhamilton.ca. Through that, just click on a link called Site Selector. It'll take you into a second screen that will actually show you very similar to how you would look for a house. But that whole screen is all around different commercial opportunities. So you can look at different investment opportunities. So you can see small businesses that are up for sale. You can see like office buildings or office spaces. You'll be able to see whole plots of land that might be for sale. So for you, if you're interested in buying a small business, you can actually click through and look for all of the different small businesses that are available. Now, small businesses will range in price. So they could be as affordable as, say, $10,000 or as unaffordable as several $1 million. And that depends on what you're really looking for. So I know that in the past I've seen several small takeout type businesses, like where it's a small kitchen and there's very little seating. That could be a couple $1,000s, like it could be under $50,000. But then I've also seen whole restaurants where they are in a very highly desirable part of the city and they could go for several $1 million. So again, it depends on what you're really looking for. Now, in terms of the process, on that website, you'll be able to see the listing agent. So there's usually a real estate agent that represents the seller of those businesses. You can reach out to them and connect with them about that sort of sales process. Then it's a straight transaction. It's all around like, you have this money to purchase this business, they want you to sell this business, you make that transaction. After the fact, we do have different organizations here at the city that can help you with developing and building additional things. So if, let's say, you're looking for some help with building an extension or an addition to your restaurant, we have people here that can help you with that. If you're interested in business plans and understanding how to make your restaurant a little more successful, we also have our Hamilton Business Center or our Small Business Enterprise Center. So we have organizations here to actually help you after you've actually made those purchases. But again, head to our investinhamilton.ca website, check out Site Selector. There's a little button that says Site Selector. Click through. You'll be able to see all of the different business opportunities as well as all of the commercial opportunities, like I said, office space, land, that sort of thing. So, and plus, you can always send me an email too, and I can definitely guide you along the way as well.
Great, thank you, Tammy. The next question is also about setting up a small business. So I am interested in coming to Hamilton to set up a business, but do not have the expected funds to manage a business. Do you help with this? And before Tammy answers, I will step in on behalf of Business Development Canada, which is Canada's bank for small business owners and a sponsor of the In-TAC National Virtual Career Expo. They have a booth in the BCE, and this year, 2019, spring 2019, they have launched a new immigrant success team. It's a program. It's financing and advisory services geared towards newcomer entrepreneurs to Canada. So they are at the booth, and I would implore you to engage them right away. That is what they do. And they do this across Canada. But I don't speak for the city of Hamilton. Tammy Huang does. So Tammy, if someone's interested in setting up a business in Hamilton and they don't have the expected funds, do you help with this? What can they do?
So funny you should mention that, Jay, because right next door to City Hall is a giant building called BDC. So we actually connect with BDC very closely. They are the bank for entrepreneurs. So this comes back to a couple of things. What are you looking to invest in? Are you interested in purchasing a business? Do you want to start a business from scratch? Another key point, are you a Canadian citizen? Are you a permanent resident? Because those will also dictate the types of funding opportunities. Is the business you're trying to start considered an innovative business? Because an innovative business that requires research and development will have different investment opportunities than, say, buying a pizza place or a nail salon. So it comes back to what are the types of businesses you're interested in, and that will dictate a lot of different resources according to the path that you're going to choose. Those are the things that I can definitely help navigate and guide you through. But again, right beside us is the BDC building. If I could turn my computer around, I could show you literally that this building is right beside us. But we also work very closely with some of our banks as well, the other big 5 banks that we can connect with, as well as some of our local credit unions. So it depends. So I want to say, excited that you want to start a business, come to Hamilton. I can definitely help you with navigating this very complex world. But at the end of the day, it's really around relationships, and it's around getting to know you and what are you interested in and how do I help you with fulfilling that.
Thank you, Tammy. We would certainly hope and suggest that everyone who wants to set up a business in Hamilton or just explore, contact Tammy Huang. Her contact information is on the slide. And whether the end service provider is financing and advisory is one of the banks that the City of Hamilton or Hamilton introduced you to, or once again, Business Development Canada, please do connect with Tammy as your partner on the ground. So let's go back to employment. Are there any call center openings in Hamilton? You know, customer service is so big across IT and banking. Are there any call center openings in Hamilton, and where can someone find those roles?
Oh my God, yes! We're definitely looking for call center people. Actually, one of the big employers that we have, they don't have, I'm not really allowed to share their names, but we have lots of different employment agencies that actually connect with our call centers. And that is something that is definitely a challenge right now. We're definitely looking for people. If you reach out to, say, Employment Hamilton or College Boreal, also you can figure out these in Hamilton, but they all have employment centers and they're looking for, like crazy, for different call centers. In Hamilton, we have this opportunity to connect with lots of our internal firms, and that's one of the big things we talk about. Specifically, they're looking for people, but ideally, they would look for anyone that could be bilingual or can speak multiple languages. But yes, call centers are a big deal here. So reach out to some of our employment partners, like Employment Hamilton. There's the Good Shepherd, Good Works Center, College Boreal. There is YW and YMCA also has employment areas. All of those are looking for great people to join their sort of call center roster.
Thank you, Tammy. I certainly do believe there are opportunities for customer service and call center representatives. To be honest, all across Canada, and certainly Hamilton, which is a pretty sizable city. You could check out the Rogers booth in the In-TAC BCE, TD Bank, a lot. You use the job search function in the BCE and search for customer service rep, and all the companies that have those roles will come up. We're definitely going to have them in IT too. So it depends what your specialty or background is. Let's continue on to another sector. To Tammy. This person is arriving in Ontario in June. I have experience in compliance and financial services. What are the prospects for financial services compliance professionals in Hamilton?
So we do have all of the big banks have represent different stations here. We are focusing on the fire sector, which is finance, insurance, and real estate. So we are focusing on that as a key sector for us. So in terms of compliance, we definitely can connect you with some of the different banks that are around here, as well as our credit unions, which are a little bit different than the banks. But I will say that it's probably not as prevalent or not as plentiful in jobs as, say, another financial area like Toronto would be. I definitely don't want to encourage all of our people to go to Toronto, but at the same time, I'm just being very transparent that we are working on it, but I wouldn't say that it has the most amount of jobs here in Hamilton in that particular area right now.
Interesting. Are there some people that perhaps live in Hamilton?
Yeah.
Commute to Toronto and work in the financial services sector, at least if it's in Etobicoke or Mississauga?
Absolutely. You know that, thank you, Jay, for that wonderful segue into how to connect into different areas. Because our cost of living is a lot more affordable than the surrounding Greater Toronto area, many people actually do live in Hamilton but work somewhere else. So we actually have fantastic interregional connections into, say, Toronto, into that corridor between Hamilton and Toronto. So there is lots of people that actually live here but commute in. So actually the reverse commute is a lot. The commute from Hamilton into Toronto is really quite heavy, but that's where we're building on our train network. Our regional GO transit is connecting into Hamilton. You can leave by train in the morning, but then you can take express buses into Toronto every half hour. So there is lots of opportunity to connect by living here and living somewhere and working somewhere else.
Okay, great. The next question, not sure if you can answer it, but you might be able to. Are there a lot of opportunities for veterinarians in Hamilton?
So, we are a pet-loving country, and Hamilton is definitely up there. So it's really hard for me to say how many veterinarian jobs. However, I can say that pet ownership and the pet industry is on the rise here. So I think that there's opportunity that way. Now, in terms of like large animals and rural and that sort of thing, we do border onto the rural sort of areas. We also have approximately 60% of our land mass, our like sort of city mass is actually rural. So I think there's opportunity with working with our agriculture and our rural industries. So I can't be exactly down to the number of how many veterinarian type of jobs there are, but there are lots of vet clinics, there are lots of vet hospitals. There is also, again, a thriving agriculture industry literally within our boundaries. So I think that there must be opportunity. And we're also, again, because of our regional location, we're also very close to other high agricultural type hot zones like Guelph, in Ontario and that sort of thing. So I would say, yes, there's opportunity. I'm just not really sure where, but I think that there's ways for us to find out.
Thank you, Tammy. So continuing on here, a bit of a detailed question. They're currently waiting their final approval for express entry. So express entry to Canada as a skilled worker. And they're currently working as an operations program manager for Amazon, and they would like to know if there are any types of roles which may match his or her skill set, which is mainly, once again, operations and project management. He or she is an operations program manager for Amazon, and this person asks, is it okay, Tammy, if they email you the CV, and can you help connect with maybe a job developer in Hamilton or in the sector if this person were an operating project manager for Amazon and coming back to you?
Well, definitely in Hamilton, we are focusing on goods movement, which is looking at supply chain, logistics, that sort of thing. So I think that there's opportunity. I know that we recently had a massive investment by a large developer, specifically set up so that they could attract like a large Amazon, Wayfair, that type of business to come to Hamilton. So I think that we're just at the cusp of it. So I wouldn't say that we have it today, but I think that there's opportunity. And yes, you can definitely send me an email. I cannot guarantee job finding, but I will help as much as I can. So that's my little disclaimer. I will help as much as I can, but I cannot guarantee that I will help you find a job. And actually, my role is more in economic development, so I will definitely refer you to experts in that sort of area.
Thank you, Tammy, and thank you for your willingness. We're going to add maybe one or two more. We've talked a good bit about employment, but in Hamilton, someone asked, are there any specific support systems for families with young children? So that's a settlement question, right? So are there any specific support systems for families with young children?
Absolutely. Actually, we in economic development, we have another group called the Hamilton Immigration Partnership Council, and they are kind of like the coordinators and the connectors of all the different service providers that touch and work with international newcomers. So they'll actually have somebody that I can definitely send me an email about that. I'll definitely connect you with our HIPSI people, who will then connect you with the right sort of organizations that help with childcare and anything that you're looking for. So yeah, send me an email about that. I'll definitely be able to connect you.
Great, thank you, Tammy. So, well, that's sort of a repeat of the last one. This person from Manila graduated with a degree in economics from a top school. He or she has a career in financial sales and insurance, but they've recently joined the world of HR. So finance background, gotten into HR, I would assume within a large multinational bank, because that's what he or she says. How is the market for this vertical in Hamilton? So that would be an HR professional that works within banking.
Yeah, so again, this comes back to, we are definitely working on the finance, insurance, and real estate sector. So we call that the FIRE sector. And it's still in its sort of infancy, so we're still working on it. But we definitely have all of the big branches of the banks. We have a lot of the insurance industry is in and around us. Again, we're also within close proximity to several financial sector or financial sort of hot zones like Toronto and Kitchener, Waterloo. So I think that there's opportunity. I think it's also just being full and transparent is that it is a little bit less dense or less concentrated here in Hamilton than you would in other markets like Toronto, for example. So I think you might find it a little bit easier to try and find a job in those sort of finance, HR sort of areas, perhaps in Toronto. But that's not saying I don't want you to go there. I just want you to know that I'm being just full and transparent about that. There are opportunities here. It might not be as prevalent or as plentiful as other markets.
Great. Thank you, Tammy. So Tammy welcomes you to feel free to contact her to engage the investhamilton.ca website or hamilton.ca website.